Hello, and welcome to Smiley's. Tonight we'll be dealing with OST, War of the Sceptre Throne, Book 4 of the Nobles of Malden Empire. I am joined by Mora.
Hi.
Hello, Mora. And I don't think I have much to say beyond let's get into it. So, this is your first time reading OST. This is my
that's
second
right.
time reading OST. We both quite sped read it, unlike Stonewielder. So, is there anything in particular that stood out to you so far?
So many things, but I think the worst thing is all the cryptic almost now, almost. Yeah.
I will say
That's a-
it takes on new meaning on a reread. It's very interesting to read now.
Really,
Yes.
I hope so, because it's been repeated like 50 times. So,
The almost bit?
yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, you're repeating that right. Yeah.
Almost now. Almost.
No, please.
No, it'll make sense by the end. It's actually a very interesting plot line. But
Yeah.
that's one of the things. It's
Hmm.
part of the prologue, very cool. So okay. But well, for one, we're back in Urgistan, right?
Yeah.
I think Nif told us. So there's that. Is there anything you like, because we thought Dackle told the Hound recently? Is there anything that stands out to you from post told the Hound Urgistan?
I see that Rake has a barrow now,
Yes.
and Brood has built it. Apart from that, I don't know. The next generation of counselors have come in. So Lim's cousin is now on the council, and or I think there's one young woman. Or
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, we're seeing newer council members, and Call is getting old. Obviously, Ralik, being Ralik, is not getting old. He's still the top boss assassin, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is there anything else?
I mean,
Krupp is still Krupp. So.
Crop is still being crop. Yeah, there's also Baruch and his high alchemical list.
No. Yeah, this oh god, the whole thing with the Baruch and Mamet and all that. Oh my god, I still can't get over that. So Wotan is the demon. No, seriously, I completely thought, I was so sure that Vorkan is the human half of Taya's parents, and there has to be some demon father involved somewhere, and Vorkan is the demon. Oh my god.
I think you're the second person that I've seen bring this up. The first one is Nif, so it catches a lot of people off guard. I don't even remember if I noticed it. It's just like, yeah, okay. I mean, obviously, it's Tiger's half demon because yeah. And I'd heard way too many speculations at this point that Tiger's father is Dancer to think, oh yeah, I mean, clearly the father must be the demon here. But yeah, I don't know.
No, that's because we people finished the Book of the Fallen, isn't it? So we had no idea about this Taya character. Well, when we started Return of the Crimson Guard, and then we find that she's half demon, but Vorkan's mother. So with that information, we obviously think Vorkan has a demon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a good reveal. So what is Vorkan's demon name? Like
I don't know.
Baruch
She
has
doesn't have one.
Baruch and all.
Yeah, like everyone has one. Even the guys that died in Cordons have a name. Forkin doesn't. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's very weird. Anyway, so yeah, the Torut Cabal are apparently demons, all of them.
Yeah.
Which I should note, given what Baruch says to Cole, that this is happening because the Cabal failed.
Yeah.
Really puts the Vorkan Garden storyline to a new light. She knows what's going to happen if she kills the Cabal, right? She knows bad things are going to happen if the Cabal fails, and she still takes a contract to kill all of them and almost succeeds.
But that shouldn't make sense, isn't it?
Exactly. Very short-sighted of Vorkan, which is not common in her later appearances.
Yeah, but was this a planned thing that the Cabal is supposed to be full of demons? Was this part of their original world building, or was it something that came up later on?
I think
after Gardens was written.
I think Cam built Dargistan to begin with.
Yeah.
So I don't know, actually. I don't know. Because there are very many implications in this book that Krupp has been here for a while and he is a force to be reckoned with. And everyone talks like him.
That him is always Krupp, isn't it? That's what I've been leaning towards.
Yes. And so I want to say, since Krupp is Ericsson's character, he probably should know the workings of the Cabal and how that works. And well, we know that at least from Bone Hunters onward, I think we're supposed to be demons because Sagula II comes along and says, yeah, you know what, these names aren't actually their actual name. Like, it's not Mammoth, it's whatever the name is. I'm not sure if Vorkan was supposed to be a demon from the start because she's like the mistress of assassins, not like the Cabal mage, whatever. But I think Baruch was definitely meant to be a demon day one. I don't know about Mamet and the rest, but I think he knew Baruch was a demon for sure.
Volcan doesn't seem feasible. Like it doesn't seem believable that she was written as a demon from Gardens because
it's really stupid if you think about it, what she does in Gardens compared to what she should know and shouldn't do.
yeah.
Okay, well,
Right.
that's that bit. We'll touch upon this later because obviously, as the book progresses, this becomes more important about what
The Cabal.
yeah,
Okay.
what it means and why it's there. But that's one
They're
bit of
there
the
to
origin.
kill the tyrant, isn't it? That's all. It's quite obvious.
Eh,
Mm.
I mean, yeah, I guess in some sense. Do you
Like,
remember what the name means? What Torud means?
no, I'm sure it has been told before, but I don't remember now.
Shield Anvil in Reaper's Gale, I think Feather Witch calls Udinas a Shield Anvil, and in the Old Tongue, whatever the fuck the Old Tongue is, the First Temper language, Shield Anvil is Torud Segul,
Mm-hmm.
and
So,
Torud is the name of the Cabal. And Segul, I think you may also recognize that word. So yeah, there's that.
oh God. That is a good reveal. Right, okay. Oh no. This I have to process this.
So yeah, there's the Shield Cabal and the Anvil people. What does that mean?
Hmm.
We don't know yet.
Hmm.
We'll see.
So that's
soon.
what they are, the mortar sword, the Segula people. That's why they're all trained in sword fighting and all that. And the Cabal is the mage shields. This is all done to keep the Tyrant King under control. But yeah. Oh God, you know what? I'm going to start reading again today itself. I have to finish this book. Right?
I'm not gonna say anything more
Yeah,
because
thanks.
we're gonna have a
Yeah.
second episode and I'm gonna need to bring this up later. So yeah, but keep this in mind. This is probably gonna be important. So
How did I not notice any of those things?
I
Yeah.
mean,
Okay.
obvious. What else is there in Rajasthan to talk about? There's still our crop Cole, Ralik and the boys. I quite
Yeah.
like Ralik, Detective Ralik in this book. Comes along, fights two guards, stab, and like, yeah, well, okay, what about them? Well, Vulcan's fucking short. That's what it is.
Yeah.
He's like, no. I mean, I've kept tabs on her. She's not doing anything.
Yeah.
And he figures something out, and then the shell bites with the slivers of death thing.
Yeah.
And
Oh, everything is so cryptic. I'm getting tired of all those things.
okay, I'm keep
No, don't explain. It's
keep
okay.
that bit in mind as well. It might be important in the future. But the
Fine.
point is, like, all of these things are because of the crumbs that he finds
Hmm.
and like the slippers. So he happens upon
Slippers?
Baruch's
The
study.
slivers.
I'll get to that. So he happens upon Baruch's study, and he
Yeah.
finds the place vandalized and trashed. Okay.
Yeah.
And he sees upon the carpet a bunch of footprints that look like slippers, female slippers that just never left the ground, like dancing.
Oh, was that supposed to be dancing? You know what? You know how I read that scene? I thought that was that guy Aman who like
Oh.
shuffles his feet and walks.
He does say female, but it could very well be.
There are two sets of footprints.
Yes.
So one is the female one and one is Aman, is what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
And then he finds the crumbs. So clearly, someone has been here before with the crumbs, which we probably know is crop, and someone else came along later and trashed the whole place looking for something that ostensibly crop took before they did.
Yeah.
And Chillbice is very scared because big man with a hammer is going to be pissed when he learns of this.
Yeah.
So that might be important, possibly.
So the slivers of death, I think it's the shattered sword. I don't know of Dragnipul. I don't know. Maybe some pieces are lying on the ground. Maybe you're not saying anything, right?
I mean, it's a chest locked like thrice in Baruch's study. So
and
whatever it is, it's probably important.
It's made of Ototaral, isn't it?
It's like a magic dead and something. It's important, whatever it is, probably.
It's Dragnipur. That's what's important. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe. I'm not gonna say anything about it.
Right.
So what storyline stood out to you before we get to more?
Oh, I like all the Moonspawn stuff with Orchid and Red Dog.
Yeah. Excellent.
And I like the younger limb, Korean limb.
Korean's my favorite.
The one decent limb in the whole. Sorry.
Yes. Korean's my favorite so far.
Oh, Korean, Liam, and all these guys are your favorite. I know.
I mean, look, he's charming. Okay, he's a nice guy. Counts for something.
Yeah, he's fine. He's okay. So, Malakai, how the hell are you saying that?
Yeah. Malakai.
That's obviously possum. Again, you're not saying anything.
I'm not gonna say anything now. But
that's wrong, isn't it?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. Is it
Fine.
possum?
It's Tice Andy and it's a claw and he's looking for something.
Possum's a
And there
Tice.
is he's half Andy.
That's Topper. Topper and Pearl are Ticed. Possum is just a guy. I mean, don't ask me why there's two different Ticed Andy
Oh,
claws.
that I know the answer to that. I know why there are two half Andy.
Did you ask Steve?
No. It was on the sub. Somebody explained, like, the older DNA, probably the ones before you were born,
Yeah.
those had,
Okay.
like, if you,
Okay.
if you had to multi-class, like, if an assassin has to also be an elf or something like that,
Mhm.
he had to be an elf to be an assassin mage, at least part elf.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's why those guys were created as part
Okay.
Andy.
Okay.
You didn't know this?
I didn't. There aren't class limitations and race limitations anymore in D&D. There's skill limit, like you have a certain amount of skill, like X amount of dexterity. It's
Okay.
not like a specific race. So I didn't know this now.
Yeah. That is before your time, probably.
Yeah, probably. So okay, well now we know at least why there's like two different half part
Okay,
Andy.
so this is not possum now. Oh God. So Pearl is dead. Topper
Yes.
is somewhere in Darujistan.
Yes.
So it is just some random guy. It can't be some random guy.
I mean, I don't know. Could be.
Hmm.
I mean, let's review, right? Why is everyone here? So we know why Corian's here.
They have the thinnest excuses to be there. Let's be clear on that.
I mean,
Nobody has a real reason to be there. It's
Corian's stated reason is he needs money, and
Korean doesn't need money. Oh yeah. He says he needs money. True. And he also says the same thing. He wants a retirement fund. And Orchid is, I don't know, spacey. She's
Orchid
just
hasn't said anything. Orchid is just here because she's here.
She's there. That's it.
Malachi says a very specific thing that you highlighted, I think.
Yeah. He says he's looking for Gardens of the Moon. Malachi is not Cutter. No.
I didn't say anything.
It can't be Cutter because he's part Andy here.
He's not
Is
part
he part
Andy.
Andy?
No.
Because he has all the because he is able to see in the night.
Well, so
he has night vision. He is described as being very dark. Sorry?
He's described as being very dark because he wears full black and he is in a place where it's basically permanently dark and Nancy can't see shit.
But he has night vision, so.
Also, does Corian because he has an unguent or whatever.
He uses it only once. It's not like Corian has it from the get go.
No,
Are you saying this is Cutter? It can't
I'm not
be Cutter.
saying
Oh
anything.
my god, it can't be Cutter. No.
I'm not saying anything. What I am saying is Nancy thinks of him as a killer and a cold-blooded motherfucker and a whole lot of that. And Corian then says that have we ever seen him kill anyone? And he says like, yeah, we have seen him kill a bunch of like guys at the shore. And like, yeah, those guys were pretty, defenseless and hapless and stuff, but not a soldier like you.
No, but Malachi has some kind of mage ability. He's able to like slip in and out of warrens, I think. Cutter doesn't have that, so.
I mean, we have to keep in mind that all of this is through Ansi's POV. And Ansi can't see shit. Ansi is incredibly paranoid. And let's be fair here, Ansi isn't the brightest guy when it comes to magic.
How dare you?
So, this reminds me an awful lot of like Nemander's arc, where we view all of his arc through Nemander's eyes, and Nemander constantly doubts himself, like, oh, I'm so bad, and I'm not a leader. And we view a lot of his arc through his POV, and then it cuts like Skintic viewing him. It's like, yeah, of course we follow him. He's like the best leader we've had. He's always there for us. He's sympathetic. He doesn't have He's very kind. He's understanding. And I think there's another thing happening with Ansi, where he's dumb because he thinks he is blind and he can't see shit. And he thinks himself as useless, but he's also a seasoned soldier, which in and of itself counts for something. He is very tactically sound on account of being a soldier. He knows his way around things. He knows how to negotiate with things. His paranoia helps when you're in a place where literally everything is trying to kill you. And I think it's Corian that brings this up to him. Like, yeah, he doesn't jump you because he's scared of you, because you're a soldier with a crossbow and you're gonna kill him. And then Nancy's like, oh yeah, hang on, maybe he's right. So I think that's very interesting. I think framing all of the Spawn storyline through a guy that can't see shit or know anything about what's going on in the Spawns is a very interesting way to frame it. And I really like that.
Yeah. Can I just say that I really love Atsi's paranoia?
Yes,
because it just
he's
speaks
right.
to me.
He's right to be paranoid.
I mean, not just there in Moonspawn and all, just his whole worldview that anything
everything's
can happen.
To kill you. Yeah.
Yeah. That entire pessimist line, I really liked it.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Spawn thing was interesting, and Orchid is part Andy, and I have no idea what's going on there.
I imagine not. Yeah. Well.
So this guy Moon, Why is he calling
Yes.
himself Mon? Mon.
I
Mon.
don't
What do you call that?
know. Morn, yeah. Morn. I don't know. You told me. I don't know.
Yeah. I have no idea. So that is some dead Andy ghost. And yeah.
Anthony does say he looks more heavyset and burly and bigger than most Andy he's met.
Endest Silan. Did I just die in Toll the Hounds? No, he didn't
Yeah,
die.
he did die, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Also, he would be a ghost.
What?
He did die in 12 Hounds, so he would technically be a ghost now, so I guess you're
So, but
technically correct.
it's not Endest. You're saying that
I'm not
Mon is
saying it's
not Endest.
horrendous. I will say I don't think Morn's identity is revealed in the book.
So it's just some random Andy ghost.
It's
That's
not
okay
some
with
random Andy ghost. I don't think it's a random ghost. I think you
I
can piece together who it's supposed to be.
you know what? I don't care. I think I told you this when Mon came up.
You
I'm
did.
not going to
You
even
did.
start guessing
You did.
who this guy
You
is because I'm sick
did.
of guessing all the times Andy reveals here.
Yeah, you did.
Right.
So that's fair. Let's talk about Eben and his excavations.
Yeah, yeah. Eben
So
is a fun character to read.
that happened.
Scholar Eben. Sorry? That happened,
That
yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
So before I go into it, what are your impressions of this whole storyline of Eben, his excavations?
Yeah. So all this is a bit confusing, right? So we have like unnamed random ghosts popping up and masked zombies coming out of graves. And I don't know what's going on. Let me just explain what happens, right? So with 12 chapters, with the 12 chapters I've read, I'll tell you what's going on. So Eben goes underground. Eben goes
I get the feeling you're not very happy with the book so far. So please go on.
No, in the sense, I think I know what's going on, but I'm 99% sure I'm wrong. But still, confidence. So Evan does this excavation underground. He finds a well-preserved dead body with a golden mask lying down, and there are some 12 empty crypts around it. Only one crypt is occupied by some desiccated corpse, which has a finest-like thing inside it. So
Mhm.
this is one of the old. I don't know, the tyrant or somebody who has been kept, under sorcery. He's been kept inside this tunnel and is protected by 12 divers, of which somehow or the other, all 11 divers have been killed or obliterated, and the last one is remaining. But, then they take away the finest, and that's why the zombie guy wakes up. The tyrant zombie guy with the mask wakes up. And that was really cool that, it's just getting replaced. He removes the mask and passes it on to the next guy, and that guy becomes a zombie lying there, and so on. So that's what happens. And I'm not sure exactly why, but the last captain, the Captain Bryn, he gets the mask and he comes out of the well, and he passes it on to Lim, and Lim becomes the next masked zombie guy. Am I right? Yes.
I won't confirm anything, but sure, yeah, that sounds good. I will say that at some point, Ammon and Taya explain why they're doing it this way, because I think Ammon at some point says that the wards placed there in the whatever crypt tomb they're excavating have been placed by Mammoth, and Mammoth was a scholar, and he placed these wards very deliberately so that no one who sought power or to free whatever's in there or personal glory or whatever the fuck wouldn't actually be able to pass through, and the only person that can actually defeat those wards is someone looking for knowledge because he himself was a scholar. And Eben fits that criteria, and he goes in under the commands of like Humble, I think, which is
Patron.
his patron, thank you. And he finds a mask. He goes nuts. Like, I'm not going back in there. And then Taya comes along and says, "No, come on, you can go back in there." And so whatever's happening with whatever ghost is in there, Mammoth had in mind to keep him there permanently, right? So whatever it is that have been excavated, it's pretty goddamn important. Okay. Also, another thing, when Lymph is first introduced in Page, he goes to visit Taya.
He has a golden mask there. Yes, yes.
Awesome. It's great foreshadowing. I really like that.
Fine. Yeah, maybe.
I can't say more. Well, okay, we can say more because something happens at the end of chapter 12, and I think that made you really annoyed that we stopped there.
The Segule reached the Rajasthan, and yeah, that's the point we decided to stop. I can't, no. Right. So there's one more thing. There's one more ghost who's roaming around. Hinter's ghost is back, and for a long time I thought Hinter was another tyrant, and then you corrected me that Hinter was just a mage. So that's a nice gang to have. Taya, Aman, Hinter,
yeah,
Baruch. Yeah, and also Eben, who's like the mouthpiece now
Yeah,
for Lim. So yeah, the Segule. Do you want to talk about the Segule? I
I
can't
have
believe this
you.
idiot
You
Jan was.
may know.
Oh,
know I have a lot of things to say about the Segway.
yeah,
But
start. Go on.
so you think John's an idiot?
Definitely, yeah.
Why? Would you please care to elaborate?
I mean, he's an idiot because he comes there, he sees this random guy wearing a mask, and just because somebody has told him once that the second always follows, so he just kneels. And because he kneels, the remaining 500 Segule also kneel along with him,
20.
which is
There's 20 Segway in the room.
inside the room. But yeah, there are 500 outside, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
A total of 500 people jogged.
Jan
Yeah.
calls the masked figure the Golden Father. So it's not just some random dude that you found, like, yeah, I'm gonna kneel to him.
Okay, he
One.
sees a random guy and starts calling him a golden father.
1. 2. The stone has sweated, which has fulfilled the ancient prophecy of the return.
Yeah, yeah.
3. They return to Dojistan, and you may recall that something, Segula II, which, by the way, is mentioned in the text, that such guardedness from the first.
Yeah, there was the second was the only one who questioned it, and so he's
That's the
been kicked
guy.
out. Yeah, yeah, I can.
So-
I got that. Yeah.
And the last second mentions something about the tyrant's children still ruling Dojistan.
Yeah, and he's very dismissive of them.
Yeah, so he's also following a summons. It's not like just he's randomly jogging with his entire peoples to Yerujistan because on a whim. He's following a summons all the way to the hall of to the Majesty Hill, and inside the hall, and in to the throne room of whatever Jessim is. And I think trying to find it. Hang on. God damn it. Yeah, so Eben talks to them. He talks to them as children, and how they have answered the call of their master,
Yeah.
and how everything will be restored as it was. And essentially, these aren't just words like some self-important guy is saying. These are the words of prophecy. These are the words that fulfill the prophecy of the return from their exile, because the Sakule are supposedly in exile in Kant and in the Isle, and their homeland is Urgistan. It lies far in the north and has been under the tyrant's influence for years, right? And there is talk of a great fall, and how the orb
Shattering and all that.
shattering, and how the circle was broken and the orb fell and all of that. So it's not like just Jan is like, oh yeah, it's just some random dude wearing gold. Like, I'm gonna kneel to him. It's like,
See,
Yes.
this is one point. I don't know.
Yes.
You named what 3, 4, 5. I don't know how many points you make. I just have one point.
yes.
At the moment, just before he kneels, he has this thought where he decides, do I kneel or do I, fight him? He makes a conscious decision to kneel.
Yeah.
Because he could have challenged him. He could have still, tried to take the position of the first. He could have. I mean, I don't know if that's the first or that's just the father or whatever.
No. You can't take the first. You can't challenge for the first. The first is not taken, it's only given. If it was that simple, Jan would be first by now because there is no first.
Do you call him Jan?
Yeah.
Right.
So calling
The
him
knee
Jan.
or the blade. Okay, this is what he decides.
Yes,
Which do I choose, the knee or the blade? He could have chosen the blade. Why did he choose to kneel? So that makes him an idiot. And let's see.
All right. Okay. Okay.
I'm
Oh.
sorry.
I mean,
I'm so sorry. You have all these well articulated arguments, and then I just say.
I mean, there's obviously more to Jan and his storyline.
I mean, you know it obviously, but I don't know it from the place I stopped reading. It looks to me like,
yeah, it's just okay.
oh God,
Alright.
you're so deflated. I'm sorry.
I found it very funny that you just so nonchalantly just said, yeah, he could have killed him. Yeah, it just knelt, so he's an idiot. Moving on. I just found it very funny.
We know how powerful the rest of the Segule are, isn't it? We have seen Lo, we have seen Sal, right? So
And
Jan
they
is
kneel to
obviously,
him.
huh?
And they kneel to him.
Yeah. So
why? It's not like, is the second for so many years just a dumbass? What's up?
I mean, must be.
Yes.
Maybe. No, but then they're looking for the mask in the moon spawn, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 Segule in the moon spawn who are looking for a white unmarked mask.
Yep.
So that is black sword is Rake, obviously.
Yes.
So why does Rake have one? Randomly he just has one mask in moon spawn. It doesn't make sense.
An unmarred white
Unmarked
mask.
is first, obviously, right? Because with a single mark, it's second.
Yeah. I have a few things to ask more about Segula, right? Because we are learning
No,
about
I'm
origin.
still sorry. I'm still recovering from Torud Segul or whatever.
So there's clearly something important to the Segula here. Lo and Sal have gone off to challenge the Slayer of Black Sword because Lo is 8th and Dasam is 7th. So let's think about this, right? So let's think about the Segula. What gives with the Segula? What's up with them? What is their deal? There is mention in chapter 9 from Fisher, I think, of a poem. Do you remember the poem? Do you want to bring up the poem?
Chapter?
9, I think. 8, 9. Yeah, 8. Chapter 8. It's a discussion from Fisher and Duiker.
What? Oh, the okay. Yeah, it's somewhere in the middle. Yeah. I didn't highlight that. Do you have it?
Yeah, so there is a traveler's tale told of a distant land about called the Throne of the White Stone, right?
Oh, and then I think Picker laughs at that throne of white stone.
Yeah, and so he said like it exists only in fragments. It's very old, thought to date back to the dire migrations to the region. It tells of tormented spirits imprisoned in an underworld of white stone ruled by demons and guarded by Blank. Okay, and he trails over because he doesn't want to say what it is. And then Duiker asks him a little bit about who guards those tormented souls, and then he says a prison of white stone guarded by faceless warriors, and that he's going for a walk. And then he goes to Envy to talk to Envy, and then dismisses Envy out of hand. And I love Fisher, but okay, you might think. Well, actually, no. I want to hear what your thoughts are on this poem before I talk.
About what?
The whole thing about prison of white stone holding tormented souls, guarded by faceless warriors.
I don't know. There were multiple souls. I just thought it was like just the tyrant who's being kept under control because of the Segule. So
Okay.
I'm just sticking to that one solid.
Let me ask another thing then. Why do Segale wear masks?
Yeah, this I've been thinking. One, I believe either they are a very identifiable race which they don't want people to see, or there could be something related to the Moranth because the Moranth are always covered, and we see that the Moranth munitions don't the society is specifically against Moranth munitions. So they
Why?
have they have some connection there because probably the Moranth are the main enemies for the tyrant, maybe the ones who try to whatever attack the Rajasthan, maybe. So the Moranth have some connection, and we already know the Moranth are somewhat related to the Barghast. So I don't know, but anyway, the face hiding is probably because they have something to do with the Moranth.
Just tangentially related? Okay. There's the masks. There's also the very, very strict rating system of first, second, third, and so on.
Yeah.
And
Is
the
there a
fact that
reason
they're
for that?
the self-identified test of the sword. I'm asking you.
I-
How does
No,
a society like this exist?
I have ranted about this a long time ago. I've told you this with just the information I had from Book of the Fallen, that this is an unsustainable society, and the Segule are basically stupid because if they can't be like killing each other just because they somebody looks at them wrong and all that. I have ranted this before, but then I think somewhere in one of the novels we find out that the Segule don't. No, I think we find out with in Return, isn't it? The guy who fights Relandras. There was one very, wasn't there an ex-Segule
Yeah.
in Return?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well.
that's when we find out that it's not really, they don't like duel each other to death. They don't even spill blood. It's just something to showcase their techniques and get the rankings. So not bad, but that's just the way they function. I don't know. They like it.
Do you not consider why? Like, if it is it is an unsustainable society.
Not really.
A strictly martial society built on essentially martial prowess to the point where interpersonal, like, see Jan and Pala, right? Second and sixth, they were lovers
Yan. Oh,
before.
if you say Yan, I can't suddenly place it. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Jan
Yan
and Pala,
yeah.
the sixth, they were
Yeah.
lovers before, and
No,
Jan.
Pala was Mog's lover. That's the way I read it.
No. Maybe, I don't know. The point is, like, Jan liked
Okay,
Pala,
see, you
loved
want to
Pala.
talk about interpersonal relationships. We have a nice father-son relationship of Lo and
There's
Sam.
that too. They don't even talk
Yeah.
to each other.
Yeah, they do talk to each other, but it's like, within the strict hierarchy.
Exactly. Like, this is not sustainable. This is not how to run a society or order a society. And the question is, how does such a society arise?
Because they were exiled from the Rajasthan. That's why.
How does an okay?
I don't have answers. Why are you asking me all these questions? I know nothing. I don't have theories.
I'm asking for your theories and predictions. We don't have any. We're gonna move on.
Oh, Okay.
Jan and Paula and the monk and Gal and everyone else there are one side of the Segula that we see in this book. From Kant and going to jogging to Rajasthan. And there are a few scenes on their way where John goes out of his way to approach someone, like talk to them or look at them and stuff.
A small child. He just looks at a child.
I think it's pretty interesting. And then they use Rajasthan and Neil. That's one part. The other part is Lo and Sal, which we talked about, and Yusek. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, that was very interesting. The whole journey with Yusek that's really good. I could have read a whole novel's worth of just their travels, where they sort of find a camp and they just kill everyone and keep going. That was interesting. But yeah, as soon as they reach the monastery and these guys are completely ignored, the secular keep ignoring people who they think are not worth to talk, isn't it? So the same thing happens to them, and Yusek just laughs at that. That's interesting. And the thing is, they seem almost as what do you call? They're very adept at their sword fighting too, isn't it?
Well, he worshipped Essenbury. That's part of the faith, I think.
Yeah.
But my question is like there's the whole test with the sword thing with the test of the sword and those that take up the sword should expect to be challenged.
Yeah.
How does that arise? Like, how did you rationalize in a society that we are incredibly xenophobic? Anyone that is not worthy of our regard, we don't even consider him as a human being. We determine rankings and who is a human being and who isn't based on martial prowess. We kill anyone that looks at us funny because we consider it a challenge. Like in fantasy, and especially in the Book of the Fallen, we view these things like, oh, they're the cool, badass warriors. But then you look at it holistic, like take the Moss, for instance. Like, okay, yeah, they're cool undead warriors and they're like brooding and they have sword. But if you look at it, what they did is they commit genocide, right? They swore a vow to genocide people. And if you want to Segula the same way, they are incredibly xenophobic. They are incredibly regimented. They don't have any interpersonal relationships because they are basically exempt from having any interpersonal relationships based on what their society looks like. And to put down the sword is a punishment. Like rather than exiling or killing anyone, they just forbid them to use their sword. And people can't take that and they leave. Well, was
Yeah.
forbidden from using a sword. He just fucked off and left because he couldn't take it. How does such a society rise and flourish? That is a question I want you to answer, but if you don't want to, that's fine.
See, I'm just saying that if such a strict type of a society had to develop, they had to be under that much pressure, that much stress. Maybe they were dominated for so long by so much. They had to. I don't know. The tyrants must have had must have put them through a lot of stuff. So they decided that the best way is to be always on their toes, to always keep their fighting skills up, and the best way to ensure that is to not allow any slack among them, so they
Mhm.
have to keep fighting, and it's part of their preparedness because I'm sure they have been through a lot of shit because of these tyrants in the Rajasthan. That's my
That
theory.
is that's accurate. Yeah,
Accurate. Are you confirming it?
I think the last bit that you said that there's been a lot of shit because of the times in Rajasthan is actually fairly accurate.
Yeah, but what doesn't make sense is why is Dan kneeling to this guy? That doesn't make any sense to me.
More on that later.
I have never, this is the least enjoyable episode I've done.
Do you want me to spoil the whole thing for you?
That's not what I'm asking.
Well, look, you'll learn what it is, why it's happening later, and like just read. You'll figure it out. I'm sure.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
making me feel bad.
I'm sorry. No. It's just that it's a horrible. There are no conclusions yet. I don't know. There is so much mystery built up. There is so many questions asked, and not even a single question is answered. At least in midpoint of Return and midpoint of Stone Wilder, we had some things happening, isn't it? We had these huge naval fights, and all the things started to come together, and all that. Here, everything is still up in the air. I have no idea what's going on. So.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I find it frustrating. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. You mentioned the Moranth earlier,
Yeah.
and we know from other books that the Moranth are very casteist, right? They have very strictly regimented classes. They are divided literally based on color. Like each color denotes a
Okay.
caste.
I think one of the red Moranth, when he's talking to the ambassador Aragon in the beginning, he tells him that you guys consider our colors as clans. It's not accurate,
The
and
guilds.
it's more like sort of like it's more fluid. Is the feeling I got. because the silver ones, the silver Morans are basically their mages
Yes.
and things like that. So
We
it's not as
know
regimented as the rest
it
of
is.
them.
There's there's the blues that are naval oriented. There's the
Yeah.
blacks.
But it's not like, they can't like leave one clan and go to the other. They're not like clans.
I don't know if there's social mobility, but the caste
Yeah.
system is literally ingrained into their armor and colors.
I wouldn't call it a caste system. No, the secular is
Maybe
more
not.
closer to the caste system, if you ask me.
That is
Because
very
the whole
intentional.
thing has to be a hierarchy, right? So it's not like the black are above the red
Well,
or the blue is below.
it's like the golds, which are the essentially the nobility of the Morans, are above everyone else.
So there's just one ruling class and the rest of them, isn't it?
I think you'll have to read to find out for more, but there
Okay,
is a
so
lot of there are mentions in other books like Return and Soulwheeler of tensions among the Morans, like
Mhm.
internal tensions and conflicts that could be arising. So there's clearly something there. It's not like they're sunshine and rainbows. Oh yeah, we're all cool. We're all equal before the light. No, there is some regimentation there. There
Yeah,
are clearly denoted. Like, have you ever seen a Legion of Gold Morans go off to fight? I think the only time we saw that was like in Return with Vitel, I think,
maybe.
and that's it. Everywhere else has been like blues or blacks or
Green.
greens. There's like the red, which is Thorn. I think at the shade of the Malazans. The only time we've seen golds actually stand up and fight is when they're essentially official delegations to as allies. So there's something there. And also, we know that a certain counselor is affiliated with the Morans.
Oh, if you
And
call him a counselor, I can, hardly think of Torvald.
yeah, Thorwald's great.
Yeah, Torvald and Tissera, they're great. So, I think in Soul the Hounds, we do see that something is hidden under their floorboard.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just assumed there was some Moran's munitions or something.
Yep.
But I'm sure it's. Is it munitions? I don't think it's munitions. Is it?
I think it's very explicitly said it's munitions, yeah.
Okay. So why is he taking the munitions and going and meeting the Morans? Like, I don't know. Are they going to just talk to him just because he's giving them some munitions, which they must have, and they must have plenty of them?
Think of it more as a token of like, not as a gift, but more like I am affiliated with you since beforehand. Because the Morans are very adamant at sticking to their treaties.
Oh, so this is
They're
the munitions which Torvald finds in the nascent, isn't it? When he's floating from boat to boat with
supposedly.
Karsa. Oh, yeah. That
So
makes
yeah,
sense.
there's definitely like it's not here's some munitions, please be my friend. It's more like I have munitions. I have been affiliated with Morans in the past. I know of your ways. Please let me in and don't kill me.
Right.
Because there is, I think it's Brood. I think it says that no one has entered Cloud Forest ever except for like Dancer and Keanu maybe. So there is that.
Yeah.
Speaking of, what else is there? Right, my favorite guy. We've not talked about my boy.
Kaladin Brood. Say Kaladin Brood.
Do you want to talk about Kaladin? Sure, let's talk about
No.
Kaladin.
I sorry. Which
I mean Leoman, but yeah.
Leoman? Yeah, let's go to Leoman. Sure. So Leoman is just, I don't know. He's trying to be a supportive, a decent boyfriend to Kiska.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, and Kiska is going through stuff with her old boss, who is trying to fire her, but she's not, not taking the memo. She's just hanging around.
I think you mentioned that there was a particular line from Leoman that stood out to you.
Did I about regarding?
Something about philosophy and survivalism and stuff. No? Really?
Wait, where did I type that?
Really? You don't remember? Am I going crazy?
No,
Maybe.
do you remember what did I mention?
It was like in the
Yeah.
chapter
Oh,
4 or 5.
wait.
somewhere.
Yeah, I got. See, what I meant was, and C is extremely pessimistic. He's very realistic. He wants the worst case scenarios in everything. And Leoman is more or less the same because he is trying to be brutally realistic. He's only looking at the practical aspect of everything. He's trying not to be influenced by sentiment and all that. But even though he's hanging behind Kiska for no reason at this point, so but still he's trying to be as practical as possible. So I like their outlooks.
There's
Yeah, that's
definitely
all I want.
there's definitely a reason why Leoman's talking about.
Because one is the queen of dreams, isn't it? Like he can't go back and say that I failed this mission. So
He did say like he does think that.
yeah, he wants to
How
like bash Kiska on the head and drag her back and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, like here you are, your ladyship, one troublesome agent, return safe and sound. Are we even now? Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, the other reason is very obvious that he likes her in some more intimate ways, perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what. So
He
that's
and
the
she,
only.
he does
Sorry?
say at some point that when Kiska says yeah, I mean, you've not been through this before. I'm like, no, believe it or not, I have been here before. When Kiska refuses to leave, like, come on,
Yeah.
we'll leave
Yeah.
him here. It's fine. He's fine here. Like, no, maybe his memories will return. Have you thought of that?
Yeah.
I did think of that. Yeah, I'm a war criminal for the Malazans. He might kill me.
So yeah, Leo is great. Yeah. I enjoy all the places he pops up. So Tenach being Tatian is hardly a reveal.
Yeah,
I called it, I
it's.
think. I called it as soon as we started. Didn't
I
I?
don't think it's meant to be a reveal.
Yeah, but still. So we don't know why he's immune to the whatever sea, the bright sea.
No, think. Well,
How do you say it?
you call it Vitter. Vitter. Yeah, Vitter.
Vitru- Right.
Um,
So can I just say Vitreous Sea and
sure. Yeah, let's call it Vitreous. Yeah, the Vitreous Sea, the Glass Sea. Yeah, sure.
yeah.
I think
So
that's the
he's
origin of the
immune.
word. Anyway. Yeah, he
Sorry?
is.
Yeah.
I think like Vitreous is the word, the origin of the word anyway. So, but I
Hmm.
did want to say that we have seen throughout like all of the books only a handful of characters being immune to the Vitter.
I've only seen Tenach being immune. Nobody else.
Uh, well, fair.
So far.
No, I mean I don't mean this series. I mean a different series.
So he has ascended. So
The reason he's immune is because he's like too cool for school. He's very, very powerful. So Jathingar also went through the world. Jathingar is also very powerful, but he got fucking smoked by Tyson when you put him into the bitter.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
like clearly it's not just go through the world and be powerful.
Hmm.
There is a certain breakpoint that Tyson is just above.
Yeah. He started out
Um,
powerful.
The other thing is he's also not very fond of mages. It seems he's yeah. He doesn't really like
Yeah.
mages
Why does
very
he
much
suddenly behave as if he's completely anti-mage and all that?
because he lost his memories. Because he doesn't remember anything. Because he sees demons and like creatures die in the Wither because they're cast out there by mages.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because turns out being a summoner is a big dipshit move. Like I really like this book because it recontextualizes so many things that we just take for granted. Like the Segway, yeah, they're cool, but those are butchers.
Yeah.
The
No,
uh,
I see. Don't take me wrong. I am enjoying this book. It's just that at this point, to stop here and discuss this, it's not. This is not an enjoyable thing to do. That's all I want to say.
I'm
At the
sorry.
end of the book, I'm going to be very happy I read it. But right now, I just can't wait to get back there.
Okay, well, it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense, right? So I don't blame you. There's a few more things that I want to touch upon. So for one, let's talk about it. Fine. Let's there is a fist and pail.
No.
No, let's not talk about it.
Uh,
Come on,
is there
you.
anything more? We can finish the rest.
Okay, we're not gonna touch on a particular fist and pail. So there's two different armies of Malaz in the area.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
Stefan's army and Fistgas's army in Pale.
Yeah.
The entire Mage Scatter and Pale have been assassinated by Talia.
Yeah.
Haven't. There's no claws, save for Topper in the region. Topper's here to reconnoiter. There's except for maybe Malachi, but Malachi doesn't count since you keep thinking Malachi's a claw for some reason. And they're retreating by Kadabran, which is an area like to the.
I didn't look up. Should I?
No, it doesn't really matter. It's like near the Rajasthan, but not close enough.
Yeah.
So
That's fair enough. Why do people look at maps? That's really no need.
So
Yeah,
whatever's
no.
going on in Durgistan has clearly rattled the empire. Like Seleucid has made ultimatums to like say as far as Nathalog, right? Like leave this place and leave Janavagis entirely and don't hang
Yeah, yeah.
around.
Even the Morant have retreated, isn't it? They have also
Yeah,
left the
yep,
city and they're
yep,
going
yep.
back.
So whatever the fuck is going on in Durgistan has clearly rattled everyone across Janavagis, which cannot be said. Yep. And the fact that like so many people have been rattled cannot even be said like Panion, right? When the Seer was a thing, the Panion Dawn was a thing, nobody in Janabaris or Nathalog cared. Now
Yeah.
people are dying all the way over there, so whatever is going on here is a pretty big event. So let's tackle one of so one thing that left Ro very frustrated when he was reading the book
What?
was Brood's inability to act about anything. He's very cautious.
That made a lot of sense to me, because he can't be a war leader if he's going to just advocate war at every point, because he's suggesting caution, which makes sense with his centuries of knowledge and after seeing everything. He's a war leader because he's not keen on fighting wars. So that made sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Ro is going to listen to this.
Please no, please go on. Please continue.
It just made sense to me because the other guy, the Jeevan guy, I don't know how do you say it, but
Yeah,
I say
J1.
Jeevan. Jeevan is a nice Indian Tamil name, so
No, of course.
yeah. So this Jeevan is, he's extremely interested in fighting, and he says, this is for the sake of our future. We have to fight this war and all that. And Bru tells him, "You're going to war, and don't talk about life when you're going to a war." So it made a lot of sense to me the way Brood is trying to suggest caution. Plus, he's lost his friend. He's sort of depressed already.
More than sort of.
Yeah, sort of. Maybe mildly
Very
depressed.
sad. Yeah, he's very. It's
Yeah,
very clear. He has hit him very hard. Maybe the heart swallowed him. Like Envy is kind of there, like, oh no, I lost my boyfriend. Like, oh no. And Fisher, I think
Envy
also.
is with Fisher. Why she's not?
Yeah, Envy's like, Fisher was thinking about this, like, oh no, he died. Oh no, my boyfriend died. So I'm like, oh, I'm over it now.
Mm-hmm. So she's just more freaked out when the card comes back.
Yeah.
The High
was
House
that?
Dark. Yeah.
And who is that? Who is that?
Oh my God!
Well, if Anamander is the Knight of Dark, who is above
Yeah.
Anamander?
Draconis. So he's back. Oh my God! So that's why she's freaked because it's her dad coming back.
This book's nice. I'm just saying. It's a good book.
Yeah. No, I didn't think of Draconis. I just thought for some reason she just freaked out seeing the card. Right. So is there any position higher than Knight in High House Dark?
Well, like
I would
Queen.
think Draconis is like the
Yeah.
king of dark or something. No.
Yeah. Yes.
So was that the king? Oh, the card was king. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
somehow read that as knight. Yeah.
No,
my
Knight is
mistake.
Drake, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. I read. This is what happens when I'm speed reading. So I thought it was knight and rake, and I didn't bother. Yeah, so it's
Like,
king
oh my
and
god,
it's Draconis.
Anamander's alive! Oh my god! Panic!
Not alive, but the card came back, and so she can't make out what to do about that, right?
There are a lot of cards spread along. Like Envy throws the card away. Ralik finds the card. I think it's Orb.
Yeah.
In some puddle. There's a lot of that in this book, and the book itself is named after 3 cards. Orbs, Sceptre, and Throne.
Are those cards? Because I thought Orb is the card which Ralik finds. Sceptre is this phone thing, the walkie-talkie thing that Aragon uses. He uses an Imperial Sceptre to talk to Unta. And Throne is this transparent white stone throne which they built in Majesty Hall. So I didn't think that Throne and Sceptre were cards.
They are cards denoting leadership or rulership. And you brought up all these 3 examples. There's the clash of rulership between, say, G1 that you brought up, G1, the Legate, obviously, Malik, the Empire, and
Malik is safe and sound as emperor. There's nothing going on there.
What I mean is, it's a class of rulership in the sense of how people rule. Because to the people of Janabakis, like take the Rivi, for example, right? They view the Malazans as invaders, because that's what they are, and they're threatening their ancestral homelands, because they are.
Yeah.
And being essentially at the whim of an imperialist, it's not very nice. It can't feel very nice. So to them, the Malazans are pretty bad, and when they leave, it's a good thing. And the Daru feel the same way. To us, viewing Rojasthan through the eyes of the people that are against the Legate, it looks horrifying because these guys just overthrew any semblance of democracy in approximately 20 minutes with absolutely no inference of justice or anything like that. Which I should note is a very interesting way to denote human nature, because all the hounds are just completely destroyed by the machinations of gods, and now it looks like 20 minutes, and in the night they just overthrew Rojastan's council and all of that, and just instated a position of absolute power, which is ridiculous. But there is a lot of the notion of rulership is very present here, and I quite like that. It's a very interesting study. But we'll get to that later, in due time.
Okay.
What else is there? There's also the one common theme I found is how Cam's an archaeologist.
Yeah.
I think a lot of OST is Cam taking off his frustrations on archaeology.
Oh yes, I noticed that. Yeah, whenever I've been going and asking for funding, so that was very nice.
There's funds like looking through places where you shouldn't, forbidden
and then
tombs and all
the
that
assistants who don't really try to help him.
Yeah. And then there's like
the funding thing that really hit me because
Yeah, it's yeah.
Right.
I've learned how to beg a lot of people over the years, and there's also the spawns, which are like a mythical ancestral treasure of a whole, a host of things that could be used to understand this Icelandic civilization, and instead fell prey to looters because that's the first thing people thought of. Well, let's go loot the shit out of this place.
Yeah.
So you can very clearly see and contrast, for instance, Ansie's attitude to the whole thing when he happened upon like the sanctums and the places are really like, oh my god, I could have taken all of this. There's so many like murals and paintings and pottery to
Yeah.
Orchid who sees this thing like, holy shit, I didn't even know
Oh,
this is real. I've heard only the legends.
yeah. Yeah.
Contrast is very nice, and I don't know if Calm feels the same way. Like on one hand, these are all very interesting from like a score's perspective, but on the other hand, you could be making a lot of money from them. I don't know if that's ever a conflict that arises in the mind of an archaeologist.
It should be a conflict, isn't it? Like when you see some um, ancient things, do you want to preserve them as it is, or do you want to like take them away and study it and try to find out more?
Mm-hmm. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'll have to ask them.
Maybe we can ask. Let's see.
So,
So please, yeah, let's just talk about Kes,
okay.
right? So what's his captain's name?
Falej. Falej.
Falaj. So she's a Seven Cities native, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these two gave me Aranict and Briss type of vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Like they are allied in the war and they're all very busy with other stuff, but still they have time to just thirst over each other. So that was fun to read. That's it.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna push you further with this.
No. The thing is, because I'm rereading Bone Hunters, and we just went to Ugarit and met Samardev meeting Karsa, and here when Khaled sees Kes naked and her expression is great stallions of Ugarit, and that one expression is enough, to tell me exactly why she's having this,
Yeah,
exactly what made her.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that puts the man in you light.
Yeah, yeah.
Great.
So that's it. No, the thing is, what impressed me more is Okarat is something, the name never really registered with me, as a place where Samardev is from and all that, even though I like Summer so much. So the thing is, Cam has, continued the same name, the point of the name, the point of talking about stallions in Ugarit in this, random throwaway line. It just makes the world building so real. Don't you think so?
Yeah.
To me, it makes a lot of sense. And, this is why you should read both books, both series. Right.
Sure, I agree. One character I want to talk about more is Fisher.
Yeah. He
Because-
broke a crossbow while hitting Taya.
Yeah, Fisher in All the Hounds is a bit like he's like a poet and he's there and then he goes and beats the shit out of someone for a big blend and stuff. And it's like, okay, but who is this guy? What the fuck is his deal? And that is never really explained in All the Hounds. And then Stick comes along and he like breaks Taya's arm like a twig. And like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
So have you been spoiled on it? Like, it's not really well,
I know that he's something. He's something powerful, but I'm not sure exactly. Is he also a demon?
Yeah.
I will not be surprised if he's also a demon.
He's not a demon. He's not a demon now.
No, but he's able to recognize Baruch and Taya and all. Taya he doesn't recognize, but he recognizes Hinter and Baruch and the rest.
Because he's a collector of tales, and these are from like Baroque and Hinter and Ammon, and all these figures are from like the Rujastani Imperial Age, from like thousands of years ago, which should really clue you into how old these people are.
Baruch and the rest, isn't it? Yeah.
Taya is like this young upstart, which, by the way, we should say that I brought up the machinations of humans earlier. In the Hounds, a lot of what happens to Rajasthan is gods meddling. There's like the agreement between Rake, Hood, and Edgewalker at Shadowthrone. The things happen in the wagon, the hounds, all of that. Even gas and thwarting, which are like the most mundane thing that could happen, are just a plot to get Hood in Rajasthan, right?
Yeah.
Everything that happens, and there's also Coral, which is also huge, the Redeemer and Rake being there. So everything that happens in the Hounds eventually leads back to gods meddling.
Yeah.
Obviously, completely dumps that idea. It's, you know what? Gods may be terrible, but humans are so much worse, man. Like, Taya is working to do what she's doing because of mommy issues, because she hates her mother for abandoning her or whatever. Hinter is just a ghost who's been dead for years. Ammon is a cripple and something bad happened to him, and so he just wants vengeance, ostensibly. Forgan killed a whole bunch of dudes and gone to the moon for money, and now she's like, fuck. And she changed herself to the Adderall chains. the only, and then it's also like Lim and Humble who are trying to take over Dagestan politically with essentially the most corrupt methods imaginable: assassinations, bribing, and stuff, which is hijacked by Taya and Co. to free whatever they're trying to free. But still, it is very, different because the amount of damage that these people are doing to Dagestan is not even comparable to the damage they're doing to the Hounds, because they're on the border of war with the Malazans. They have unleashed a horrible thing from, the crypt that was clearly not meant to get out. They have reinstated absolute rulership over Rojasthan, who has prided itself on being like a powerful thing for millennia. And all for what? Because they couldn't really agree on whether or not Rojasthan should have an army or not, and how it should look like.
Yeah.
Neat. Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
It's like people are fucking terrible. Is what I'm getting at.
That's true. Yeah.
But this might annoy you, but it's very cryptic. There are a few mentions of a translucent white orb encircling Dagestan. Like Barathol catches a glimpse of it. Spindle, I think, catches a glimpse
Yeah,
of
yeah,
it.
yeah. Many people have that vision. Yeah.
Do you have any idea of what that is?
I assume that is a palace dome, but the way you're telling me now, it looks like something which is encircling the whole city, like a dome.
I don't
Like
think it's the entire city. I think it's only.
Yeah, it's just a dome of a palace, isn't it? A roof.
But it goes away then. Like, if you look at it, it's there, and then it's not. So it's not like.
That's because that was the one which was shattered when the Great Fall happened and all that. Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anything more. Did I mention I really missed Picker and Blend? I do.
You missed them, huh? Is it? Okay.
It's great, man. I really like Picker and Blend. They're great.
Yeah. No,
I like how by this point, like Picker's used to Blend's like here thing.
yeah,
So
she doesn't even ask.
Spindle asks like, "Where's Picker? She's around.
She's
She's
around.
here
Yeah.
somewhere."
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah.
It's great.
No,
And
those are some of the low key couples we see, and
yeah,
this is what it doesn't even feel like two different authors are writing these couples, Torvald and Tissera, and also Picker and Blend. It doesn't feel like separate guys have been writing the same. They're exactly the same. They're perfectly matches. The same characters and the same dialogue and all that. Don't you think so?
Torvald and Thistle are just my favorite thing in this book
Yeah.
so far. Like the whole
The breakfast scene. Yeah.
I've said before that I think Tessera is the female equivalent of Krupp in Toll the
Is that
Hounds,
is that right?
where she knows many things. I think it's like in Toll the Hounds. Oh, wait, is it? I don't remember. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. We'll see. But yeah, she's very intelligent, very cunning, very capable. She has a scene in OST which is like very soon there will be a big shortage of like urns and amphorae and things, and like
Yeah,
she's just
yeah.
overworking herself.
She
Like,
has some.
where's Thorvald? It doesn't matter. Yeah, and she's very unlike Krupp in All the Hounds, which is very in your face. Like he's narrating the story. He's very front and center. Here, this is much more subdued, more low key, and so is Krupp. It must be said. Krupp
Yeah,
in this book is
yeah.
very
Krupp is nearly invisible. Like,
present. Yeah,
yeah.
beyond his scenes with that old witch, the crazy old witch, which I think
Those are my favorite scenes. I know right next to Torvald and Tissera is this couple, Krupp and this old witch.
Do you have any idea who it might be? Do you have any prediction who it might be?
I initially thought that was Krull because Krull is a woman now. He is a she, but that doesn't make sense. So I don't know. It must be one of the. But that was in Seven Cities, isn't it? The burn priestess or something which Quickpen met. That was in Seven Cities, not here.
No, it wasn't Shirabagas, yeah.
So that's the same witch here? It can't be. I don't think so.
She's not a witch of the. Oh, I don't know actually.
The tennis witch who says it's too cold, and then that's how he figures out that I should use Om Press Falak and all that. So I don't. This is all I don't have a theory. Sorry.
Okay. What's funny is I think it might actually be the same person. Okay. All right. No, it's not. I don't think it's the nameless witch of tennis in Mother's Device, but it's interesting. Anyway, I didn't think of that.
So there is some other theory. You have a different theory.
It's confirmed. It's named in the book. You'll know who it is. It's a bit low-key. You might miss it. Like I think Ro missed it, but you'll know who it is. Sure. And the reason why she is the way she is fucking hilarious. I love it.
Fine. I'll have to read it.
But yeah, you'll see. So let's review a little bit of what Krupp has done in this book so far. Right. So
Krupp has stolen a lot of food and he's left behind literal crumbs everywhere.
It's
and he's stolen the
when
slivers of death. Sorry, I'm
yeah, when
interrupting. Go on.
the Saguli are running into the city, like there's a scene within the Phoenix Inn where
Yeah,
like the waitress comes in, like comes out, sees the Saguli running in, like comes back, like, hang on, weren't there 5 plates here earlier?
yeah.
It's these little moments of Crump stealing food, or it's like it's amazing. But
It's because we know that Krupp is known to do these things. That's the only reason we can put it together, isn't
yeah,
it?
yep.
And
And
Vorkan says that the only person to contain the tyrant now is
it's
him
him.
again. So that's again Krupp.
And the again part is very interesting, by the way.
Yeah.
Like she could be
So
raised, you know.
Race is playing cards with
No,
this.
I mean, well, yes, but
Can we talk about Race for a minute?
of course, by all means,
Okay, so Race has this Tilanimas from uh,
for
from
the
where
hounds.
Harlow was in the mines.
Yeah,
He was working in the
yep.
mines, and his legs were shattered and all that. So this Tilanimas was in the Azat yard, but we see that he has escaped the yard and he has walked into the house. And now Race and him, the Jagut and the Tilanimas, are playing cards.
Which, by the way, is absolutely absurd if you think about it.
Yeah, and they have this cat with them. Right. So he names the cat Tufty.
Yeah, so Ansu brings in a cat in the hounds, a dead cat in all the hounds, and it's like, yeah, I shall name him Tufty. And now along comes Rallic, and he sees like braced in the splendid mountain doors. Like, yeah, like, can you help me? Well, I could, but like, I for one, I'm like 40,000 gold up, so I can't leave now. I'm winning. Which I don't know what use Reyes has for money, but he's winning, so he can't leave.
Yeah,
And he calls it like this cat Fluffy. It's
Fluffy.
just
Yeah,
it's great. My head got like he forgot what he named it one day. Like, hang on, what the fuck is the name of the cat? Oh,
yeah.
he's Fluffy now.
That makes so much sense.
Like, I have more important things to do than worry about what I named the dead cat that this bridge burner brought me the other day. I had to win on cards. I need to win the gold. God damn it! And yeah,
From the Stellarius. Yeah,
that's raced and my boy, the Fluffy. So I think you've noticed you noted here about Scorch and Life, which by the
yeah.
way are my
I'm
favorites.
starting to hate them now because they're quite funny and all that, and I enjoy all their scenes. But why do they exist? Why are they like this? And why do they get all the good things happening to them? Like everybody recognizes them, and I don't know. It's sort of uh, ridiculous at this point. I hope there's a point to them.
If
No?
you notice, they're clearly not competent enough to have these things happening to them. Like their whole deal, in their opinions, like we need to get money from Eben because he hasn't paid us yet, and we need a job.
Yeah,
And here they go and get picked up by like the Jessam's Manor and stuff, and they're part of like the city guard, and they're in Ebin's employ now and whatnot. So clearly, they're not competent enough for any of this to be happening to them naturally.
yeah, yeah.
So someone has their hand in this. The question, of course, is why. I mean, I'm not saying it's crap, but
I mean, who else is going to push them? And now, see, it has to be because now Ebin has recognized them and he has hired them back. So probably they're going to jog his memory, bring Ebin out of the position, and give him back his voice. Maybe that's the role of
Mhm.
Scotch and Left, and that's
Maybe,
what Krapp is trying to do.
maybe.
Yeah.
The
So
other thing is, well, there's also the line, when Cole is home alone. Yeah, yeah.
when
What you need is Cole. When Cole, like, he's sitting there lamenting, like, yeah, I'm
yeah,
too old for this shit. I've lost too many women. He's
too many.
clearly
He lost one woman. Yeah,
okay. Yeah, fine. He's still like depressed and like touched by what was her name?
Simtal.
Simple, yeah, thank you. And then yeah, okay, well, can I call you friend? Like we're gonna share a very intimate moment here. You're gonna kill me, so might as well call you friend. Like, you want a drink? I want a drink. I'll have a drink.
Yeah.
Like as the conversation goes on, like clearly panicking more and more. Like, oh damn, I'm gonna die, but I can't look weak now. Before them, like all you need is balls. And then when Raleigh comes forward, like completely lose. Like, God fucking damn it, don't do that. Come on.
Yeah.
It feels very real. Your friendship feels very real, even when Krog is not here, and
Yeah.
Morelio may, or Morelio, but
Murillo, rest in
yeah,
peace. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Oh,
still very,
it doesn't really register with me, when we come back to the Rajasthan and see Ralik and all. I expect to see Murillo also,
yeah, it's very sad. I miss him.
sad.
God damn it. Why did he have to go? We discussed this last time when we were doing like the chalice up, but he's
How
way
can we
too
not
big.
discuss him? Like, he just died because of blisters. What a sad, stupid thing to happen.
But yeah.
right?
So, in short, do you have any predictions for the future?
Which part?
Generally speaking, where do you think the story is going to go? You've said before, and you have no idea, but you have to have an
I
idea.
have a lot of ideas. Like, I'm very sure this is what is going to happen. Let me. So yeah, the Segulai are back, and instead of protecting the city from the tyrant, these guys have suddenly thrown themselves behind the tyrant. And somebody like Kaladin Brood, who's also coming back to the Rajasthan now, and maybe Torvald will return with the Moranth, and so they are going to, I don't know, kill all the Segulai maybe. Oh my God, what if they kill all the Segulai? That can happen. Or they all give up their masks and decide to be like normal Darujistan people. They come back from their exile, so that can happen. And somewhere traveler is involved, and because yeah, you don't like it when I bring it up, so I'm just going to discard the traveler storyline.
No,
So,
go on, it's fine.
and in the
You know what
spawns,
happens.
yeah, and in the spawns, Orchid is some manifestation of Mother Dark, obviously.
Obviously.
And yeah, and Malika is, I don't know if it has to be possible. I can't think of anyone else. It has to be possible. Right.
You could think of someone else, but you just discarded the idea at hand.
That is Cutter. It can't be Cutter. Cutter is somewhere else. Do I know any other assassins? Why did you ask me more questions, beforehand? I would have come prepared with some answers.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So it doesn't matter. So this is what is happening in the spawns. Orchid is part Mother Dark, and Korean is
Obviously.
probably yeah. I mean, is there any doubt? I don't think so. So Ansi and Korean, they come back to the Rajasthan with lots of money. They somehow find that unmarked mask and give it to the Segule and get all the gemstones back. It's like a quest which the Segule have sent them on a quest. So they complete it and come back and get all the rewards back. And then they go back to the Rajasthan. And because they
And
have
they
this
live happily ever after.
no,
No.
there's going to be some minor pitfalls, Ansi has to go and be. I'm sure all the bridge burners are going to be very suspicious about Ansi. Like, how did you come across all these jewels and did you steal from someone? And so that's going to take some time to convince them. Why am I going on and on? Stop me.
No, please do. Please continue.
So that's it. So that's how the bridge burners end up. And Ebin is safe. Torvald comes back and he's back with Tissera. We did not talk about Barathol and Skilara.
We didn't. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I liked it. I like Skilara from the beginning. You know that, and I'm sure you don't like her.
Why not?
Oh, you don't like her? No, I think you had
Why
some
wouldn't I
issues
like
with her.
her?
With her, I don't know. I
think
remember
she's very
you.
easygoing about everything. But
And
I think she's very easygoing about everything, given what happened to her.
yeah,
But that's not really the fault of the character. It's more like how she's written, and I have an issue with. And now here, she's much more, evident. This isn't the life I wanted. Like, yeah, I wanted you another baby, which finally, it makes sense. Fucking at last.
I mean, it has always made sense to me. It's just like outright stated here because she gives up the baby, isn't it? Even back then in Bone Hunters,
No,
because she knows
like
she's
baby
not.
necessarily.
Oh, sorry.
I think it's much more. I don't think it's the baby. I think it's just like given what happens to Scalara, she's very easygoing about everything. Like, oh yeah, life's fine, life's good. Oh, I don't worry about it. I don't care.
It's not the way you see it because I don't know.
It's felt that way in the Bone Hunters.
She's going through a lot of trauma. She's giving up the baby with I don't know. It's not an easy decision for her at any point. And even here,
It can be that way.
you didn't feel it that way, yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like, oh yeah, I got rid of the blue demon, and it's like, oh well, I'm happy now. To be
I
fair,
don't
it could
know.
also be permanently stoned. That could be it. So
She was not stoned at that point. She was not.
it's
She was
fine, we'll
smoking
get to
rust
that.
leaf only.
Okay, yeah, I'm so
No,
sorry.
it's
She was
it's a
only
hard
smoking
decision
about-
which she made. That's all I'm going to
No,
say.
I
It's not.
don't think it's easy. I'm just saying I don't.
So
think
she was
it's
not just
particularly-
just yeah. It doesn't matter. That is a bone hunter's discussion. We can have it another day. But here, when she is neglectful of the baby and Barathol is being all supportive and nice and all that,
Yeah.
I don't know. It felt very realistic. It happens. There are many people like that, and there are days like that when you really can't give on some days. As a mother, and
Wouldn't know.
at the end when she tells Barathol that all I see is is a what
A
something she
hungry
said.
monster, I think she calls it.
No, something a creature of need or something.
Something like
that really hit me. Yeah, all I see is this creature full of need, and she has seen a lot of creatures of need from before, and that's what puts her off.
Mhm.
That somebody looks at her as if she can fulfill and she can fulfill something with them. that puts her off, and that makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah.
I
So
didn't
Bharata's
think of
Lala.
that.
Yeah, sorry.
I didn't think of that.
Oh,
That
that's
is
where my
true.
mind jumped. Yeah.
That's
Creatures of needs.
interesting. I like that. That's interesting.
Yeah. So that was my.
I mean, when you mention it that way, I think yeah, that makes a lot more sense. It's just, I'll get there in a reread. I don't know for sure, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Hmm.
I'm thinking, like, yeah, I guess you raised a pretty good point. That's true. Well, more you know. I'm just saying, like, there's other things I've considered before. Like, yeah, she's like this because of course she is. She doesn't
Yeah.
want a baby because, well, I mean, people don't want babies, and I guess she kind of, sort of, whatever. But what she says felt real to me. Like, yeah, she wants Barathol. She chose Barathol, not the baby.
And
And
isn't Bharathol an exceedingly nice guy?
I think when you name your baby after your best friend who like a simpleton, you probably get overly attached to the baby more so than a normal father would, which is saying
What?
a lot.
What? What kind of a, oh God, does the name of the
What?
child matter? Really?
I mean, he named him after Chor, and he was pretty fucking attached to
I
Chor to
mean,
begin
even
with.
if he named the baby like potato or something, he would have still loved it the same way. The name
I'm not
doesn't.
saying that he wouldn't. I'm saying that he does so more than usual.
Sorry, I take issue with that.
You do?
Yeah, the name doesn't matter. He's going to be a good father regardless of all those things.
I'm not saying that he's not going to be. I'm saying he's like even more attached than he otherwise would be. More so than
He is
Skilara was.
being the best father he can, regardless of what he
I
names the
agree.
baby.
Okay, fine. You feel like
Regardless.
that. Fine.
Oh my
Fine.
God. Oh my God. This. Fine, I
Oh yeah.
agree with you, Lee. You're
No, no, no,
100%
no,
right.
no,
Yes.
no, no, no,
What
no,
was
no,
your
no.
point? I'm just
Shut
going
up,
to
shut
repeat
up,
it. Tell me
shut
again.
up, shut up, shut up.
Tell me to shut up.
Look, no, I agree with the gist that he's being the best father that he can be. We just disagree on the reason why. It's fine,
He's just fine. Yeah, I'm
He's
not
a
going to
nice
object.
guy. That's where we conclude. That he's a very nice guy. Yes, I agree with that. Battlefield is a very
Yeah.
sweet guy, right? I think that's about it. Unless there's more you want to talk about, which I don't think there is. I
I
think we
just want
touched
to
on everything we
mention that
wanted
we
to.
found some pickled segule in Krul's bar.
Yeah, yeah.
Which book was it? I don't remember now.
All the hounds.
Told the Hounds. Okay. So yeah, there is some history of the segule in the Rajasthan.
Mm-hmm. Now, why are they pickled in a bar, and which was essentially a temple, is anyone's guess, to be honest.
Anyone's? How can you? I can't get what?
I don't
I
know.
have no idea why they're pickled there. No.
I mean, Cruel's bar used to be Cruel's temple, and Cruel was very peculiar in his worship, like most of their gods. So
He wanted blood sacrifices.
yes,
Were they sacrificing the segule to him?
I don't think they were. I think the Segway were there to, ensure that nobody objects to the sacrifices. Probably
Sorry, nobody sacrifices?
nobody objects to the sacrificing.
Nobody spills blood in Krul's bar. Is that why they're there? That makes no sense.
I
Hmm.
don't know. You think I know? I don't know.
Okay. How we don't find out, is it?
I don't know. I don't
So
fucking
we
know.
don't know. We don't know that. Fine. Okay. Right. So I
Hmm.
think we have discussed most of the things that happen in chapter 12
Hmm.
up to chapter 12.
Yeah.
So 9 more chapters to go,
Yep.
and I'll have all the answers then.
Well, I think all the answers might be pushing it a little.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll have more answers though than we do now.
Yeah. Will I have
So
more
there's that.
questions too?
Probably. I'd say so.
Mm-hmm. Fine. But anyway, it doesn't matter because once this book is over, we are going back to the other storyline, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's okay. But yeah, I want to know about the Segule and what they're up to. And does Jan die? Is Jan going to die here? It doesn't look like he's going to survive this. Are any of our old favorites dying, like Ralik and Cole and all that? I hope not. Taya might die.
No. No.
Fine. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. I hope none of these fellows die, and I hope all those other guys die. And is Baruch coming back from his demon to his human side? I hope so. I hope Baruch and Vorkan and all are back to their normal.
Oh, Vorkin is still normal. I think Vorkin is still fine, no?
Vorkan is tied up in Ototara chains. Till the tyrant
Yeah.
goes, she's going to be tied up like that. And once he's gone, because of the other people who will help them out, she's going to be fine. And then she and Ralik will be fine. So that's where I see the book going.
Can you imagine the balls it takes to bang a demon woman though?
I know. I thought Vorkan was the Chad to have a demon, to have a child with a demon, and yeah, it's Ralik. Ralik is the guy with the balls. So,
Raleigh, yeah. Yeah. Off the books, it's like Vorkin told Raleigh not to involve himself, and then he immediately went and involved himself. So Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what do you expect? That's what a guy with Ralik is known for that, from book one. So, thank you for listening. We hope you liked our discussion.
We will see you next time on ideally all of the books with, as Mora said, more answers and more questions.
Yeah,
Until then, I've been Lee. This has been Mora, and we'll see you next.
yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, Mora.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.